Pyongyang and Moscow once again solidified their bilateral relations through a visit to Moscow by the North's top diplomat Choe Son-hui. Let's discuss more about the significance of that trip. We're joined by Professor Park Won-gon this morning. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Professor Park, during Choe's visit there was no official mention on discussions on Putin's possible visit to Pyongyang, but it's highly likely that they did, right? What would Putin's visit to the North actually signify?
Well, I think North Korea themselves has announced last year one of the most important achievement for them is to enhance cooperation between North and Russia. And so that's why the North Korea is trying their best to bring the Putin to visit to North Korea, especially Pyongyang. And it's going to be another very huge achievement for Kim Jong-un because you see, North Korea and Russia, both of them are diplomatically isolated. So if they are showing to the world, and especially for the North Korean people, that the Putin is coming to North Korea, it's going to be get out of this diplomatic the isolation. So I think Putin also have his own reason to visit Pyongyang because North Korea has provided such a huge military assistance for the Ukraine war. And KN-23 is one of the most advanced North Korean missiles, but it is allegedly known that North Korea has provided this missile to Ukraine. So I think to the Russia. So I think Putin is also have the reason to come to the Pyongyang.
Right, North Korea and Russia appear to be in the same shoes at the moment. And Choe Son-hui's visit came as a North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, threatened to name South Korea this week as the regime's #1 hostile country in its constitution. Now, the North is also getting rid of its agencies that have been handling inter-Korean dialogue and cooperation. Professor Park, are these big deals?
Well, I think this is the Kim Jong-un's attempt to regain control of the inter-Korean relations. Since the South Korean government, Yoon Suk-yeol government, the inauguration of the government, the South Korean government has emphasized so-called peace through the strength. And also at the same time, we are seeing the very enhanced cooperation among South Korea, Japan, and United States. Especially South Korea and United States has enhanced the so-called extended deterrence. And Kim Jong-un himself, they admit, and this kind of enhanced deterrence capability by these three countries is such a huge challenge to their regime itself. And the last year, December, when they have a plenary meeting, and also this month, when the Kim Jong-un made a speech at the Supreme People's Assembly, he's a very, criticized all those attempts and efforts made by South Korea, Japan, and United States. It means that the deterrence is work. So I think at this moment, what Kim Jong-un is trying to do is regain the control over the Korean Peninsula. So I think they not have any detailed plan to actually have a military confrontation or a military attack to South Korea.
All right, and at the same time, it looks like much of the world's attention is not on North Korea because of other, significant events going around in the world, like the war over in Gaza, which may be the reason for the North's provocative words and actions. Will Pyongyang keep this kind of stance or strategy throughout the year as we move towards the U.S. November presidential election?
Well, yes. North Korea has actually announced their new policy direction or line in December 2019. They called this line is a frontal breakthrough line, in Korean, 정면 돌파전. And one of the important features of this line include maximize their nuclear capability and preparing for a long-term battle. So I think they still continue to implement this policy direction. So this year is no exception. They will continue to develop the launch spy satellite and the Hwasong-18, the ICBM, to target the mainland of the United States. And additionally, they are attempting to escalate tension on the Korean Peninsula. And we should not exclude the possibility of a 7th nuclear test this year. And then North Korea may come to the negotiation table next year with the United States.
Right. Speaking of nuclear tests, a former chief U.S. nuclear negotiator, Robert Gallucci, has voiced concerns that a nuclear war could actually break out in Northeast Asia in 2024, which is this year. Professor Park, should we really be concerned?
Well, I think it's definitely exaggerate. I mean, North Korea never gave up its intention to unify Korea by force, even use this nuclear capability. But we are seeing that North Korea could not win this war. They knew it very well. And Kim Jong-un himself admits implicitly, and he said that several times for the past couple of months that he really worried about the U.S. extended deterrence and ROK U.S. combined forces, the enhanced capability, and of course the cooperation with Japan. So Kim Jong-un knew start the war means the end of the regime, and he himself admit that too. So the North Korea's radical rhetoric is a kind of sign of their showing weakness and some kind of a defense purpose, not the very aggressive and not to actually implement war against South Korea.
Right, the nuclear war, the word itself is very daunting and gruesome, so hopefully your words are more reliable. Now, it's not official, but widely believed that the North has nukes, right? South Korea, the U.S., and Japan are warning that the more provocations from the North, the stronger the trilateral cooperation will be. How can the three sides can really then counter growing threats from the North in realistic ways? More drills? What do you think?
Yes, already South Korea, Japan, and United States conducted the naval exercise yesterday, and this is a very massive scale. And also, start with the last year, the three countries has conducted more than, I think, 7 or 8 times of the naval exercise, the very specifically targeted against North Korea's nuclear missile capability. South Korea, United States, and Japan conducted the so-called detect and identify and intercept of North Korean nuclear capable missiles. And at the same time, the three countries conducted anti-submarine war too. And this is a very enhanced deterrence against South Korea, against North Korea. So North Korea himself is very worried about this kind of the enhanced deterrence against themselves.
Right, more to come throughout the year. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Park. You have a great day.
Thank you.